Hey everybody, my name is Craig. I am Director of Church Planning here at Kensington, as well as one of our teaching pastors. And I am going to be, along with Chris Zarbaugh, bringing the message this next week on Palm Sunday. And we're going to be doing something this next week that I think is going to be really awesome to do together that we haven't yet done in this new digital format of doing church together online. This next Sunday, we thought it would be an incredible opportunity for us as a community to celebrate communion together. Now, here's the cool thing about this, I think, is that even though on the weeks that we do communion together as a church, that's happening in different locations, it's happening in different times and different services. And so even though we're doing it all like on the same day, we're not doing it at the same moment. This coming Sunday, we have the opportunity for thousands and thousands of us, those who have called Kensington Church for a long time, and those of you who are just beginning to stumble into Kensington and find this as a community for you to together take communion at the same time, the same moment, for the same reason. And I just think it's going to be an incredible opportunity. Now, if you have not been a part of taking communion with us in the past, let me explain to you a little bit about what this moment is for us as a church. When Jesus spent his last night with his disciples before he went to the cross, he did what probably a lot of us would do if we had an opportunity to be with the people that we loved on the evening that would be our last with them. He had a meal. They had dinner together. And there was a point in the middle of that meal, towards the end of it, we think, that Jesus took out some of the elements that he had literally at the table with them, like some of the stuff they were eating. He took a piece of the bread that they were eating and he tore it apart and gave it to each of the disciples in pieces. And he explained to them something that they didn't understand in that moment, but they would come to understand when he said, "This bread, it is representative of my body that's being ripped apart for you." And then he poured out the wine and he said, in a similar way, "This wine is representative of my blood that is about to be spilled for you." And even though in that moment they didn't fully understand what it was that he was trying to explain to them, because they didn't understand that the cross was coming, it was this moment of him creating really a habit for all of us. That's why he said, "Every time you gather, do this in remembrance of me." And so that's why even 2,000 years later, we still celebrate communion. It is a moment for us to remember the cross, to remember the suffering, but most of all, in all of that, it's a moment to remember the immeasurable love that God has for every single one of us that was demonstrated on that cross and in that suffering. And so here's what you may need to do. Like getting ready for Sundays, you may need to go get some elements. Like if you don't have bread at home or you don't have juice at home and you've got a trip planned to the store in the next couple of days, just make sure to add that to your list. Otherwise, I would just encourage you to spend a minute looking around the house, go to the kitchen, find some of the stuff that you may need, which is going to be very simple. Find maybe a loaf of bread or biscuits or Triscuits or crackers or anything like that that would fill kind of the bread aspect. And then for the juice, Jesus, we believe, used wine. You can use wine if you have it at your disposal. You can also use just juice. That's why we use grape juice. It's kind of the closest thing to wine, so we tend to use grape juice. But you may not be going to the store and you may not have grape juice in the house. I don't think there's anything wrong with using something else, another form of juice if you have to, and you go, "I don't have any juice and I have no store trip being planned," then I would just say use what you have. The point is that these elements, they represent more than themselves. So it's not so much what they are, it's what they represent, and what they represent is the torn body of Jesus, the shed blood of Jesus, that was done for all of us because of his love for us. So I hope you got the stuff you need at home, or you have the ability to go get it, or you can pull something together in the next couple of days. But this is going to be an incredible moment, and we just wanted to give you the chance before Sunday to make sure to get your stuff together so that you're ready. That on Sunday morning you can take communion and serve it to your family, and together as one community we'll celebrate the love of Jesus. I'll see you then.